It's Gemini season. Whoa! How about the gossip girl? It is the season of gossiping. Do you like to gossip? Do you like to spill the tea? Some people, gossip is great. Gossip actually started as a way of verifying safety within tribes. I'm not here to knock it. Personally, I'm not really much into gossiping. I like to try my hardest to not ever talk crap about people. And if I do have something to say, I try to keep it like with my I statements and like be very vague and not name names. Yeah, this is the season of gossip. And whether that serves you or not, it's up to you and your karma. I will go ahead and go over what this Gemini season has in store for all of the signs. And I'm going to group them into earth signs, air signs, water signs, and fire signs. So let's just go ahead and start with earth signs because we've just come out of Taurus, which is earth, an earth sign, moving into Gemini season, which is air, but we still have some planets in Taurus. So those of us that are earth dominant signs, we are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and is that it? I think that's it. Yeah. So there's three of each element for each, like 3 signs for each element. So Earth, Capricorns, Virgos, and Taurus. So with this major shift of Aquarius moving into Pluto, which has to do with our karma, it has to do with our soul contracts, and it has to do with you know, what kind of karma are we creating for ourselves? You know, whatever goes around comes around. So like, for example, when we're hanging out with people that are talking crap about somebody, just know that person can talk crap about you just as easily as they're talking crap about somebody else, especially like people who are talking about people they don't even really know. So just like know that, like, you know, if they can talk crap about somebody that they don't even know, they can talk about somebody they do know that much easier. And like, it's kind of like for you, for earth signs, this karma has to do with Aquarius moving into Pluto. So Aquarius has to do with the group, the community, the society. It has to do with equity, access, and fairness to all. That's what Aquarius is about. It's about creating a sense of belonging and figuring out, like, what does each society, community, group need in order for there to be more of a sense of belonging for all. Some people will say that like Aquarius is really focused on the underdog and stuff like that, and I really like to just think of it more as Aquarius will notice the details, similar to Virgo, how Virgo will notice the details and analyze and gather data for the details. Well, Aquarius does the same thing, and the purpose of it is for, unlike Virgo, it's for service, but it's for not just service for however one could help. It is the purpose of more equity, more fairness, more equality. So some of the Aquarius elements that we've already had, and Aquarius is air, so this is, you know, we're going into an air season. Some of the examples of influences of Aquarius has been things like women's suffrage, equality for women, women having bank accounts, which happened like in the 70s, fairness, things like children's rights that only like just happened about 120 years ago. Before that, like, children were just considered little people, but then about 120 years ago, like, people gathered and they were like, you know, let's make things more fair, let's make it, you know, legitimate in writing that children are separate from adults, and that, like, children have a right to like develop and grow, and then let's, you know, next step would be parents' rights. You know, parents have a right to certain things and space and time. So let's make, you know, breaks for parents that want to get an education even though they're raising a kid. Like, let's make it you know, easier for them to like be able to have equal access to education too. Things like that. So it's these like things that have to do with fairness and equity and equality. Aquarius is about like, how do we include more for the purpose of fairness? So when we go into Gemini season, which is like the next 30 days, and one of the aspects of Gemini would be like gossip or two-facedness, but there's so many other aspects to Gemini, like reading, communication, singing and dancing, but a lot to do with communication and data and the sharing of data, the sharing of communication, etc., etc. For earth signs like Taurus and Capricorn and Virgo, these next 30 days, you're going to be witnessing your brothers and your sisters of the world, blood and non-blood relatives. You're going to be witnessing that they're going to be experiencing some things like you've been through already. So Uranus, which has to do with sudden, unexpected change, is all up in Gemini stuff right now, and it has been all in Taurus. It's been affecting the earth signs quite dramatically for quite some time now. So just unexpected things. It could be really good fortune for those of us who did good things, you know, like who took, you know, what goes around comes around. So if you were if you're, you know, doing good actions, taking good care of yourself and others, or to the best of your ability, trying to do things on the up and up, or, you know, if you were doing things that like were in from an honest and caring and, you know, good place, you might have had unexpected good fortune. Sometimes like bad things do happen to good people too, but there's just a lot of unexpected things were happening that really shook like people who were Taurus and Capricorn and Virgo. Really big things that like shook them. Unexpected things, startling unexpected things. So now that's going to be happening a lot to Gemini. It's already started. It started like about a month ago, but it's going to be happening more and more. A lot more to the air signs. And some people that have, you know, prominent air in their charts, like Cancer, somebody who is Cancer might have prominent Gemini in their chart, because they're so close in the season to that time. So it's not just people that have like Gemini sun signs, but it could be a variety of people. You never know, like just because your sun sign is one thing, you could have prominent placements of Gemini, even if your sun sign is not Gemini, is what I'm trying to say. So earth signs, it's going to get easier for you. There's not going to be so many unexpected ups and downs. Things are going to start getting like more simple for you, and you're going to be looking for like more groundedness. And the place that you're going to find more groundedness is, so during Gemini season, everybody starts coming together. It starts to get warm out and people are like, let's get together. So you really want to be focused on the people that want to get together to do something more than to talk about other people. So there's some people that want to just get together to vent. They just want to talk about how their husband always upsets them, or how they're so proud of their kid and how their kid is such a good kid. They'd rather like get together to talk about other people. Well, earth signs, you really need to be getting together with people who are more interested in doing activities. And these activities, preferably for earth signs, you want them to be around food. You want them to be around art. You want them to be around actual acts of service. It's really a great time astrologically for like beach cleanups, going to the beach and picking up like things that people have tossed down, stuff, you know, like you know, not necessarily like for the purpose of karma, but I just call it karma point stuff. But like, it's going to benefit somebody, even if it doesn't benefit you that day, it's going to benefit somebody in some way. Like the fact that you took time out to like pick stuff up off the road or off the beach. Physical things, like doing these physical things, is what you're going to be wanting to be on the lookout for. Getting together more for the purpose of like doing things. If people want to talk and they want to talk crap, well, maybe they want to write crap. Do they want to write down their stories? Do they want to work on a memoir? Do they want to like do something with it? Or are they just trying to win brownie points in the moment for whatever mood they happen to be in? Because they want to like flap their jaws. Like, so earth signs, you really need people that want to get together to do stuff. Other ideas of things that are going to be good for you would have to do with the water. Earth, this is the year of the fire horse. So, you know, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, you're going to get really dried out. You're going to feel really hot. And I'm not just talking physically, like, because it's a hot day. I'm talking like you're going to feel just burnt out more easily this year because the energy is really fast. And the energy is like a galloping horse that's been let out of the stable. So what is good for Earth is water during that time. You're going to want your watery experiences to happen in the morning or in the evening, like around sunset. Those are the best time for you to get yourself around water, whether it's a walk around a lake or a walk by a pond or a walk on the beach, or get yourself in a pool in the morning, preferably in the morning. If you're out there in the afternoon, you know, like, make sure you're covered, but even just a day of it, because Earth holds water. Earth provides a great container for water. And too much water can make Earth feel flooded, but there's no such thing as too much water this year because it's the year of the fire horse. So get yourself around some water, and it'll help things feel like a little more calm, a little more steady. And yeah, like, it's a great time for growth. If you have creative projects that you want to see growing, then this is a great time to be indulging in that water, because the water will slow down some of that fire a little bit and turn it into lava, which creates new earth. It creates little jewels and it creates little islands of new earth. So just indulge in that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to, let's see, I'm going to move on to from earth elements to water elements now. I'm saving like the hardest for last. So yeah, we'll go to water, because Earth has got it pretty good right now. I think Earth is finally coming out of that time where all these unexpected things would happen. And it's going to start, you know, leveling out and becoming like more grounded and less unpredictable misfortunes and stuff like that for Earth signs. So, you know, just keep on the up and up, you know, try to be good people as much as you can. You know, there's a lot going on with karma right now. So you're building your karma as we speak. You know, the actions that you're taking and where you decide to spend your energy and how you decide to where you decide to put your energy and how, you know, be around good people and, doing good things, not talking shit. And that you'll see the payoff. You really will. So moving to water signs. So water signs, we're in the year of the horse and we're moving into air, and it's Gemini. And so what's going to happen for water signs? Water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So one thing that about air is that water wouldn't exist without air. There's even air in water. But one thing about air and the airy season and the effect that it has on water is it causes water to evaporate. Water can kind of let go of itself and sacrifice itself to the season of air or to the air element. So we can see that the way that water gets pulled up from from its places into the air, and it comes back down in the form of rain, or it floats away in the form of a cloud. So it can be a little easier for water signs right now to kind of feel like they're losing themselves a little. And what I mean by that is, don't pay too much attention to, there's going to be a lot of talk going on through this next month. And it's great. It's great to have knowledge. It's great to have information. And it's the year of the fire horse. So it can be impulsive, and Gemini can be confusing because Gemini sees both sides to things. So one minute they could be presenting themselves like this or like that. Like, here's an example. Gemini could be like, I can't stand that person. But the truth of the matter is they're so obsessed with that person. They're like in love with that person, and they just like want that person so badly, and they're just bothered that that person doesn't even know they're alive. But they play it off like they can't stand that person. You know, or it could be something like, Gemini could be like, oh, I'm completely fine, when really, like, they're doing great. Or really, they're not doing great at all. So it's like, but both things are actually true in the situation. So it's like, but you're only going to see one part of something at a time. But just know, whatever you're seeing and whatever you're hearing, the opposite of that is probably also true during this time. It's yeah, it's a bit of like a trickster energy, and the tarot, it could be a little bit like the magician. It's a time where, like, yes, there's a lot of information, but it's not just what you do with the information that counts, but it's also what you don't do with the information. And so for us water signs, it's more about what you don't do with the information. Okay. It's about, water signs will store things to memory. They will hold things in their memory. So they'll hold words and information in their memory. But the thing about information, especially when it's on the Gemini level, is it's new and it's still evolving, and there's not all of it's all there. So this isn't really a time to be holding on to all of the information. Let the information kind of pass through the parts of you that you're letting go of as you're like releasing yourself. With Aquarius, which is an air sign also in Pluto, and that's a big theme of this year, the karma for us water signs is about knowing what to parse out. Water signs can be incredibly sensitive and can care a lot about, like, so if you hear like a water sign is likely, when they hear someone talking crap about someone that they care about, a water sign is likely to be like, hey, that's not cool, don't do that. Like, a water sign can feel it as if it's happening to them, right? This might not be the time. It might not be the time to even bother acknowledging it. It's possibly a better time to recognize that the energy that's happening, it's like babies babbling. There's so much new information that is being processed. Let it be processed. Let the information happen. Let the information be processed. Let the information like happen around you, and bear witness, and keep with what you are already working on. Water signs, you have your creative projects, you have your emotional growth thing that you work on, you have, you know, your relationships and all of that jazz. Do that. Work on that. Your sobriety, especially for Pisces, like, sobriety is a big deal, whatever. So, you know, like, whatever it is, like, there's so many things it could be. You do you, water signs. What other people think, like, a lot of people aren't even really thinking about what they're saying. They're just saying what they're saying, and they could actually feel or think a completely different way than what they're talking about, or they might think or feel a completely different way than what they said they felt or thought tomorrow. It's changing like the wind right now. So don't take anything too seriously within the next 30 days. And this is being recorded around May 20th of 2026. So just don't take any of it too seriously. What else can I say for water signs? What can you do to benefit? So you have information to share. And this information that you have to share is useful for everyone. And I would just say, like, just don't name names. Just, you know, share what experiences you've been through when you're ready to, without naming the names, without putting people down. Just, you know, you can just be in general, like, I had this experience at this sort of a place and this is what happened. And there's little nuggets of wisdom for people. Or you can just simply be in the feeling of being you. You are incredibly nourishing right now to those who want to be nourished. This is a really dry year. It's a hot and dry year. And the kind of creatures that survive well in the heat and the dry air, they are, I don't know if you've ever been out in the middle of the desert, but like those birds, like, they are intense. Like when they make noise, the little creatures, the way they move around, it's like they're on crack. Like, to serve the kind of energy that survives in like heat and dry is like fast. It's like intense. It's like kind of like staticky. It's like there was this like mouse cartoon, Speedy Gonzales. It's like Speedy Gonzales energy is the kind of energy that handles like dry heat, like in the middle of nowhere, kind of. That's the kind of year that we're in, right? So like water signs, you just be you. People are going to need that. They're going to need that nourishment. They're going to need that breath, that tall glass of water that you are. And be selective with who you give it out to. You know, give it out to those who can hold it more than those who are evaporating it. You know, maybe some of us water signs still have things that we want to let go of and we want to evaporate, and we want to like be like, this isn't me anymore, and that's fine. Let that evaporate. But if it comes to like being grounded and having a good life and enjoying the good things in life, and, you know, having things to do with the group, which Aquarius is a big part of like this year, Aquarius and Pluto. This is like, you know, you're building your karma. You're building your soul contracts with the people on this planet who you want to like do cool things with in this lifetime and others. So in those regards, make your choice based upon those who can hold you more than those who can drain you. So moving on to air. So air signs like Gemini and like Libra and like Aquarius. So air signs this month, watch out. Just be careful. This is not the best, absolute best month for your reputation. Air signs like to talk, and it's a talky talk time. Not just because it's a Gemini season, which is talk and gossip, but it's also Aquarius and Pluto. So we've got these major karmic influences that have to do with power and death and life. And these major like influences have a lot to do with how we are writing our stories. So yeah, it's really hard for those of us who have air elements. I know this myself. I have some air elements, and I've worked really hard in my lifetime to do whatever I can. Like, people will try to get you to gossip, and you just, I tell you, man, I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything bad about people. I will not name names. I will not, like, it's one thing if you're like standing up in a court and you're defending somebody, but like in general, gossip isn't going to get you anywhere. You know, people who are bored will enjoy it for a moment and might be influenced by it, but they can't deny the feeling that's in their body that knows that if you could talk like this about somebody, you could talk like that about them. Even if you have something that's like really needs to be heard, that's for the safety of the group in general. It's, you got to find another way to like share the information, and hold the information for just 30 days. Just try to hold it for like 30 days at least. Because there's a good chance, one, that you might not know everything that there is to know about the situation, so you might be ill-informed. Two, you might know stuff, but other people might know stuff that you don't know, which would make you ill-informed. Three, there could just be something that you're just not seeing. Because like that's the quality of air. We see right through it, and we don't necessarily see it. And in trying to speak during a time when like it's very chatty, it's hard to be heard when you're trying to speak during a time that's already very chatty. So I would just say channel that energy, channel it into, whether it's song or writing, your journaling, channel it into something else. Gemini energy right now, for air signs especially, or people with a lot of prominent air in their chart, you know, just like everybody, we want to start starting something, right? And we want to get to like getting the ball rolling. But us air signs, with Uranus in Gemini right now, it's going to be really hard for air signs to get anything started. They might think that they're going to be getting things started, but it's going to be really hard because there's just going to be so many unexpected things that are going to be happening. And depending on how good that person has been, you know, like what goes around comes around. So I'm not saying that bad things don't happen to good people, but like, you know, what goes around comes around, and these unexpected things that are coming around, like, could be misfortune. They could be fortunate, but they are things that are that are going to feel destabilizing. There are things that are going to make it hard for air signs to actually follow through on their commitments, and that's nothing to judge. It's just the way like life rolls sometimes. So just be prepared for that. Air signs, what would be really great for you besides writing, get like a tape recorder and just tape record this stuff. You know, instead of like going into the group and like complaining about your man and over and over and over again, and just saying the same stories over and over and over again, put it into a tape recorder. You know, try that. Try putting it into like something like ChatGPT and having it reflect back to you, like, and sort out what you're saying. Try your communication in different avenues other than like collectively, because unless your communication is for the purpose of bringing the group together and making more people be able to have accessibility to the good things in life that you have, if your talking and your speech has anything to do with anything other than that, it's going to affect your karma in a way that you will not like. So just save your words for only, like, if you're gossiping, your gossip needs to be like to unite and bring people together and to make anybody who's maybe not always had inclusion or access have more access. But try to be, if you have things to say that are negative, try to put them out there in different ways other than to the group, at least for the next 30 days. Because you don't need your karma affected with this Aquarius and Pluto thing that's happening right now. Because Aquarius and Pluto is all about bringing fairness and justice and inclusion for all. So there's that. And then the final, so that's air signs. So we've talked about earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. We've talked about water signs, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And we've talked about air signs, which is Aquarius, Gemini, and what's the other air sign? Libra. Yeah, so like, and it's a similar theme. It's like information. What do we do with information? So for air signs, try to practice sharing your information in different ways than with the group. So like the worst thing you could be doing right now is being like, oh, isn't that person look like that funny looking person Ricky Lake? And then like the next minute you're like smiling to their face. That's the worst thing you can be doing right now, your signs. You know who you are. Like, it might be funny, but really bad for your karma right now. Better thing, talk into a tape recorder. Try creating multiple like chat GPTs and have them reflect back to you with different personalities. You know, turn it into a different form of like a different way of processing information, because the group is not gonna like, the group isn't gonna look fondly on that kind of like stuff for the next 30 days. It's just, and if it does work in the next 30 days, it's gonna end up coming back later to haunt you. So just don't even mess with it right now. You need all the good luck you can get with Uranus in Gemini right now. You trust me, the earth signs can tell you sudden misfortune is no fun. Like unexpected, sudden, like awful things, no fun. So yeah. So then last and final would be fire signs. In the year of the fire horse, we're moving into air. So basically, fire signs, you're going to feel fueled. Air fuels fire. You're going to burn a few bridges, fire signs. You're going to be creating, just, you know, whatever it is, you know, you're going to be going for it. Try not to be burnt out, you know, do whatever you can to like surround yourself with a little bit of water, because it's just too much of, you know, like how you enjoy, like, I mean, this might not apply to all Leos, but you know how you can really enjoy being with yourself and doing the things that you love doing, but then too much of that can bring loneliness, right? Well, that's just an example of how too much of a good thing, and in your case, too much of yourself, like too much of the self, too much of the fiery energy can burn you out. You can get burnout on it. So whether that's, you know, too many walks or too much of, you know, one particular group, or too much of one particular person, or too much of a particular project, or whatever it is, too much of the heat and the passion and the growth can burn you out. So try to temper this wonderful year that is very full of growth for you. Try to temper it with, you know, watery aspects. So get yourself in the pool every now and then, get yourself in the lake, get yourself by the ocean. That will be so good for you. Get yourself in nature. And know that even though you might have like one particular project that is like the thing for you, maybe it's every Saturday you go to Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu, or maybe it's every like Thursday you're all about this other new project that you're on. Just know that this is a great time to, even though you might have your like one thing or your main thing that you focus on intensely, to avoid getting burnt out, give yourself other things too. Just give yourself tastes of other things. So, and you'll enjoy that. And that's for Leo, and it's for Sagittarius, and it's for Aries. So, what else can I say? Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. This is like, you know, you're the fire horse, Gemini in Uranus. You know, you're going to feel like on fire. You're going to feel like suddenly fueled in the most unexpected ways. And it's about balancing yourself. Just because you have a sudden burst of energy, don't use it all at once. Try to preserve it. Try to make it last as much as you can. Try to stop doing the thing that you love doing before you're tired. And if you can temper yourself in that manner, you're going to really see a big difference when it comes to like your body pain and your headaches are going to start like lessening more and stuff like that. So there you go. That's my astro forecast for Gemini season. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.